City Power has confirmed a widespread outage caused by a fire in Braamfontein. Officials earlier revealing that the blaze under the M1 highway may be due to cable theft and vandalism. City Power spokesperson Isaac Mangena is with us tonight, and he joins us now for the latest. Mr. Mangena, good evening to you. I am guessing it's not the first time that there is a blast under the M1 highway. It's happened before. Am I wrong?
Good evening, Chloe, and good evening to the viewers at home. You are quite correct. It's not the first time that we've had a fire under at the M1 highway, double-decker highway. It's in our tunnels, and it's also not the first time that we've had fires within our tunnels across the city of Johannesburg, where we are on a daily basis battling the impact of criminality through the zamazamas that are camped in our underground tunnels. They are feeding off some of the copper cables that we have underground, and that's why we are even suspecting that this fire that happened early this morning could have happened due to this criminality of copper cable theft that we normally are battling with in the city of Johannesburg.
So how widespread is the damage? And by that I mean the communities that are affected by the outage right now. How many of those communities are affected?
So basically, in terms of the distance of where the cable that has been damaged is, it's about 2 kilometers. So from Car Street to Smith Street. So the Car Street will be on the other side towards the New Town when you're going towards New Town Junction Mall, and it goes up the highway pillars, and then into the cable, into the tunnels, and then going across the two double-decker highways and towards the Smith Street. That cable goes to, in fact, it's not one cable, it's several cables, about 12 cables, high voltage cables. They go towards Braamfontein substation, feeding electricity from Fort Spec substation to Braamfontein substation. So that is the damage that we suspect could have happened, about 2 kilometers of multiple cables that have been bent. And this is basically affecting power supply to several areas, including the whole of Braamfontein, part of Parktown, part of Hillbrook towards the police station, part of Bree Taxi Rank and North Taxi Rank, and also part of the New Town, especially New Town Junction. The mall itself was off early this morning. However, the team, while EMS was busy putting out the fires, we managed to basically find ways to backfeed some of the customers, especially those around Smith Street, around Volmaran Street. And by the time I left site, which is about an hour ago, the team was also trying to ensure that Vets University is also restored, and so that the people there will have power.
So as we end the conversation, yes, efforts are being made to restore electricity to the areas that are experiencing a blackout right now. How long would you say the last community to be reconnected will take?
So as we left the site, we had a meeting with all the departments that were involved in the recovery and also the putting out of the fires. So EMS was very much in control of the site since the morning. As you can imagine, they were putting out the fires, they were ensuring that the tunnels themselves, they are cooling off, the heat in there is sprayed by water, and also the fumes are basically pushed out. So most of the day, City Power was not doing anything within those tunnels that were affected by the fire, but it was EMS, and JMPD was also had closed 2 traffic lines, so they were busy dealing with the traffic. So in terms of City Power, we are waiting for the site to be handed over to us, so that our technicians can basically be able to deal with, move in, assess the extent of the damage, quantify the amount of infrastructure or material that is needed to do the repairs. I've already mentioned that we are suspecting that about 2 kilometers of cables have been damaged by this fire. So EMS it says they can only be able to give us the go-ahead tomorrow morning. So we're expecting that by mid-morning tomorrow, we will be able to move in to ensure that we do the repairs. But as I mentioned, the other teams were basically trying to repair some of the interconnectors from our Fort substation and also Braamfontein substation to ensure that we can backfeed some of these customers. And we're hoping that at least 50% of these customers will be back on by tomorrow morning, and then we can then ascertain if we can be able to restore 100% by midday. So, but that information we can only be able to confirm tomorrow morning after making sure that we quantify the amount of damage that has happened and also what amount of work still needs to be done to make sure that we restore supply to those customers that are affected.
Yeah, just very quickly, as I let you go, Isaac, was there no arrangement based on previous experiences, as we've already established that it's not the first time a blast of this nature happens under the M1? Was there no arrangement to have some form of security securing your sites?
There was, and unfortunately, this is one of those incidences where you don't expect a electricity supply institution like City Power to spend money, a lot of money on security, but we find ourselves basically doing that, especially after last fire and also especially after the incidences that happened in the tunnels where our teams had to exchange fire with some of these vandals. So we find ourselves basically spending a lot of money. 100 million rands were spent in the last financial year alone on security, and that's what we have always been doing. But as you can imagine, with 18,000 kilometers of electricity, both underground and overhead, that is quite a number of a huge space for us to be able to cover in terms of security. At the double decker, we had security obviously patrolling at the top and at the bottom, and this security has exchanged fires many times with these criminals, and that's why our CEO, Ms. Chifularo Mashava, wrote to the commissioners of the police, both provincial and national, asking for help so that they can come through and do what the police are trained to do, which is to fight criminality, arrest, and make sure that these people are sent to jail. And that has not really received much of a positive outcome from the police side. That's why we're having this kind of problem currently, and that's why we're still having people, as I'm talking to you now, we still have those criminals stay underground in those tunnels. We've got 15 kilometers of tunnels within the city of Johannesburg underground where our cables are running, and those people are staying there. I managed to find time to go under there myself about a week or two ago, and you find cans of beers and a lot of things that suggest that these people are actually sleeping in these tunnels. They do this work without any disturbance from anyone, and that is the problem we have, which is a security problem. We had hoped that the essential infrastructure task team that was set up by the president about 2 years ago would come in handy to basically ensure that we deal with this kind of situations. But I think there's still more that needs to be done, Tony, and I think we'll continue to appeal to them to assist us so that we can be able to deal with some of this criminality that is happening, and that is really crippling economic activity in the city of Johannesburg.
Isaac Mangena, thank you very much for your time and indeed the update tonight.